This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I really appreciate you joining me today, and we've got a lot of news to get through in this first episode of updates coming from London. Thank you to Dave Nathan for his coverage from the crime scenes. A murder investigation is underway in Westminster. This was on the 4th of June at 20 to 11 after a fight had broken out on Bow Street at the junction of Edgware Road, NW1. Police were called and they found a man suffering a knife wound injury. They administered CPR before the ambulance arrived, but sadly, despite their best efforts, he died at the scene. He was 18 years old and his next of kin have been informed and are being supported by specially trained police. A post-mortem examination took place and it was held on the 6th of June, and they found the cause of death to be a single stab wound to the heart. 3 men aged 22, 26 and 24 were arrested on suspicion of murder and have been bailed pending further inquiries, and one has been released without bail. Inquiries are progressing, and this includes reports that a gunshot was also fired during the altercation that took place, and this is what Dave Nathan was told when he was at the scene as well, where there was a large cordon in the middle of a busy high street and a lot of police trying to gather evidence, speak to people and also shop owners. There was also a lot of markers in the street, and this could be symbolic of evidence that the police may have found, or a trail of evidence, or potentially bullets. A tent was erected in the middle of the street, and there was a lot of diversions of traffic, and a lot of people in the local area would have been affected by all of this. So as of yet, we don't know the identity of the victim, but we will definitely keep you updated on anything to do with that story and the outcome. And my condolences to the family and friends of the victim. In some other news coming from London, in Hackney, a week ago on the 29th of May, 4 people were shot outside a cafe. One of them was a 9-year-old girl, and a week later the police have said she's still in a critical condition in hospital and nobody has been arrested for the shooting. 3 men were also injured, and Detective Superintendent James Conway said, "Our investigation team has been working tirelessly to piece together what happened and to identify the dangerous individual responsible for this shocking and indiscriminate act of violence. We will always follow the evidence, and a critical line of inquiry has been the potential link to a Turkish originating organised criminal network." And he went on to say, sadly, a 9-year-old girl was simply having dinner with her family in the restaurant, and she's now fighting for her life. It's therefore important we find out the details of the individual that carried out this attack and those that were involved in the planning. The investigation continues at pace, and they requested anybody that was in the local area to get in touch. You may be a friend, a partner, a family of somebody that you suspect may be involved, and they want anyone to get in touch with information. The shooting occurred at 9:20 on the 29th of May. A lone motorcyclist fired a number of shots towards a restaurant on Kingsland High Street in Dalston. A 9-year-old girl was shot and she's in a critical condition. 3 men aged 37, 42 and 44 were sitting outside the restaurant, and they were also shot, and they have been discharged from hospital. The motorcycle used was a Ducati Monster with a white body, red chassis and red wheels. It was a 2021 plate and it was stolen from Wembley 2 years ago. Chief Superintendent Conway said the incident has left everybody in Hackney very shocked, and the Turkish and Kurdish community are appalled at the actions. Over the last week, there has been additional patrols in the local area to try to reassure everybody, but at the same time, with no arrest being made, there is only so much that can be done. So let's hope this young girl pulls through, and I'll definitely keep you updated on anything to do with this story and every other story featured on this episode. In this next story from the 6th of June in Deptford, police were called at approximately 25 to 11 to reports of a stabbing in Carteret Way, SE8. Police and ambulance service arrived, and despite their best efforts, the victim died at the scene. The victim has been identified as 21-year-old Robert Robinson, who lived locally. Detective Inspector Neil Tovey said that this is a horrific crime committed by people who chose to arm themselves with weapons and blight our community. A young man has been brutally murdered and his family are grieving. They said that they are trying to piece together what occurred and what led to the attack on Robert. The incident took place on a residential street and at a time when many people were likely to have been at home. I believe the local community hold the key to solving this murder. A post-mortem examination on the 8th of June said that Robert died from multiple stab wounds, and 2 men have been arrested on suspicion of murder. One of them is 50 years old and he's been bailed, and a 44-year-old man remains in police custody. And the latest update to this story is that a man has been charged with the murder of Robert Robinson in Deptford. Desile Wedderburn, 44 years old, from Windlass Place in Deptford, is one of 2 men that were arrested shortly after the incident. He was charged with murder on the 9th of June and will appear at Bromley Magistrates Court on the 10th of June. And they were set in place then when he was stand trial. So we won't be able to cover this story until the trial is complete, but we'll definitely update you on the outcome of that trial. My condolences to the friends and family of Robert, and there is no image that has been released yet, but I'll definitely post one to social media as soon as it becomes available. And in this story from the 7th of June 2024, a man was stabbed and hospitalised on Stroud Green Road in Finsbury Park. Police were called at approximately 1:30 a.m. to reports of a stabbing on the road at the junction of Seven Sisters. Officers and London Ambulance attended and they believed the man was aged in his 30s and suffered multiple stab wounds. He was taken to hospital for treatment and his condition is not life-threatening and a crime scene remained in place. No arrests were made as of yet, and we'll update you on that story if there's any arrest made or a trial comes from it. And hopefully the man makes a full recovery. So really appreciate you joining me for these updates. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Turn on your notifications to stay updated with all Scarcity stories and follow on social media at Scarcity Studios. Peace.